Next success principle is role models. Really important role models are to everything we do. When I first started playing, I use a lot of analogies from softball because that was my life. Up until about 3 or 4 years ago, that was all I did. That's all I thought about. That's all I breathed. That's all I acted on. That's everything. That was my whole life. To the point where I have no money because of that. So I've got lots of softball stories, and this one here is really important to me because when I first come up through the ranks, there's this guy who was playing ball, and he was the best. We joke about it now, but we called him the king. Okay, so we'll just call him King. Right? I don't want to divulge his name, we'll just call him King. The King could pitch, the King could hit, the King could do everything I wish I could have done. I wish I could be him. And so I started to model my stuff on him, what he was doing. How did he go about when he was hitting? What did he do when he was pitching? What was he doing at training? The problem is I didn't quite follow him completely. I didn't work as hard as he did, but he was good. Imagine that he was the best player to ever play in Australia. Up until now, he was the best player to ever play in Australia overall. And so I was lucky enough to play with him for a few years. And I got a chance to hit right after him. And also, actually, inside myself, I never said this to anybody else, but I was really chuffed about that. I actually got a chance to hit right behind my role model. Oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So then it got to a point where when he went into here, and he got a hit or he didn't get a hit, I was thinking, I could do that. If he didn't get a hit, that's okay, I'll do it for him. And so I started to model and mimic his actions, mimic what he did. The mistakes he made, I never saw them. I never had to. I only ever saw the good stuff. So by following his lead, I never made mistakes. Not the mistakes that he was making before I saw them. I didn't need to. I only had to follow what he was doing. So then it got to a chance where I had a chance to play for Australia, had a chance to play for a long time for Victoria, and did all that great stuff that I did. And I had a ball doing it. Had made some amazing friends doing it. But the role model itself aren't always going to live up to what you want them to do. But for what I needed, he was perfect. Perfect. So the key thing here with role models is you need to try on what they do. What is it that they do? And do it. And as you try it on, then you'll see how they're the benchmark for you. They're the benchmark right now. And then eventually, if they continue to do whatever it is that you're doing, say you're, for instance, business. If you have a business, if you're following a businesswoman, businessman, whatever, that's making $1 million, Donald Trump. Let's just choose Donald Trump. I want to follow Donald Trump's path. He's already made the mistakes for me, so I don't have to make them anymore. I don't have to make his mistakes. I just do what he did, and it will work out the way I want it to work out. And then the next time, I might grow past him, and then somebody else will come in. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah? Role models are so important because of that benchmark. What benchmarks do you set for yourself? That'd be a really good, interesting question to ask yourself. What benchmarks do you set for yourself? And based on the path that they've taken, how can you implement their path? How can you do what they've done? How do you follow what they've done? It's some really important things to work out, because where are you going? What do you want? I know I'm throwing about 1,000 questions at you, but think about this, because where are you going right now? Anybody willing to share with me? Where are you going right now?
Pass my exams.
Pass your exams. Who's passed their exams in front of you?
Everyone's here.
Okay. Can you model somebody?
Probably find someone.
Yeah. Are you?
I'm in a study group with you, yeah.
Awesome. And that's making it easy for you, yeah? Yeah. If you didn't have that study group, how would it be?
So much harder.
Yeah. Use people. It's not using in the sense that we talk about a lot and judge people on, but it's a way of getting where you need to go. Yeah, Tina.
I've got a couple of different role models depending on, like I've got one for my business,
Yep.
one for being a mum, and one for being a friend. So I'm picking the best bits of all of those people and using them to make the perfect model.
You posted something on Facebook about that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, beautiful. And isn't that perfect? See, everybody here is involved in that Facebook group. Can you see how we can all learn from each other? Because that's perfect. You can't get everything out of one person. If you can, good on you. But you're different. And you might want more than what they're doing or what they're capable of giving. So go and search for it. Go and search for what it is that you want. It's for me, the role model changed everything. Changed everything that I did. And now, for my business and for my life, I never crossed over. Never. I only had role models for softball because that's all I thought I was ever going to do. Yeah. Now I'm 33. What am I doing? No softball. So I was really lost for role models for a long time, up until just recently. And now my role models are so clear in what they do, so clear in where they're going. That's me. That's where I'm headed now. Hence the reason why you're all here tonight. Because I'm clear on where I'm going. I know where I want because they've done it. The mistakes that they made, I won't make because I don't need to, because they're only doing the excellence bit. Does that make sense? So I only follow the excellence bit. So think about who here's got a role model. Who's got one? Throw them out. Throw some names out. Let's go. Get engaged. Please.
Sharon Pearson.
Sharon Pearce, bang, me too. Yeah. What else? Who else has got one?
My dad was a good role model.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Anybody else? Yeah. Anybody else has got? Say me. So it's key for us to research. Research what our role models have done, what they're doing now, and where they're willing to go. Yeah? Research them. Find out the basics. The one thing I know about my role model when I was playing softball, the king, Dark King, was he did nothing extraordinary. Nothing. I sat there and used to think about it. And now when I play it through my head, I think to myself, you know what? All he did was the basics and he did them awesome. When he trained, all he did was the basics and perfected them. He made the basics seem like another level. How often does that happen? When I think about business, and I've read some books and been really involved with some business people, and I look at it and go, you're doing nothing extraordinary. You're just perfecting the basics. The problem is that so many people do the basics so bad that the basics look so extraordinary when they get them done right. Does that make sense? And that's all that my role model did. He just did the basics and did them extraordinary. That's all he did. Made sure that this, and this was done before he went out on the field. Even to the point where everybody else would be at training, swinging their asses off trying to hit the ball as far and as hard as they can, and he would stand there and go, just like that. Really, it looked lazy. It really did. It really did. He made it seem so simple because it was simple. I only need to get this right. I know I can stick the ball as far as I want if I get A, B, C, D right. And the rest of it we'll deal with later. When you talk to him now, he talks to it like a science. However, it's not a science. Now that I've had time to reflect and look at it, it's not a science, it's basics. The basics. That's all it did. And that's what you want from your role model. What basics do they do? The fundamental things that they do to bounce off from, to launch from. They're the bits that you want. That's the bit that you really want. Because not having that makes it really hard to do anything else. I'm going to go through that in a minute in the next phase. The The next thing that I really wanted to make sure that we understand is the steps. What steps did they take to get to where they're going? Because remember that our role models at the start, they give us somebody to be. Yeah? They tell us that right now, this is what you want to be because this is who you want to be. This is what you want to give. So you need to be this. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. So understanding that and linking that to the steps, what steps did they have to take to be who they are? And I'm going to start on the ground level and be okay with it. Learn what you can from that ground level and then the next level. The way I explain this to a lot of the kids that I coach is this. Think about this. Think about a building. Okay? 4 different floors. You want to be on the top floor. Okay? The problem is you head to the top floor first without the other 3 floors. And then the whole building comes tumbling down and then you go and blame somebody else for it. Yeah? Because you haven't learned the lessons you needed to learn in the first 3 floors. One at a time. It's okay. And you'll move as quick as you need to move. You'll move as quick as you can learn. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. Okay, so to finish up with role models, what goals do they have at the start? What goals do they have at the start? And if you can go back and if you're able to, you will find this out in any book you read of your role model, out of any interview they've given, out of anything they've had access to media from, you will learn this. Because they'll give it away. Everybody asks this question. Well, you know, when you started, yeah, how was it for you? Well, my goals were this. My outcomes were this. And then you'll probably find that their outcomes aren't far away from where you are right now. And that's awesome because they've made the mistakes for it. So we don't have to do that. We just follow the path that's led us to excellence. Does that make sense to you guys? So, does that change the way you look at role models? How many of you guys actually research your role model? Yeah, I know you would. You would.